everyone. Happy holidays. It's that magical time of year, and we are re-releasing one of those Christmas movies that I made Jess watch for the very
Good
first
Lord.
time because as the seasons pass and the years go on, she's finding a new appreciation for the stop motion Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I can count multiple Christmas episodes where you've said, God, this makes me miss
I have
Rudolph.
said that. I think I said that for A Year Without a Santa.
You said it
I
for
said it
Babes
for
in
Babes in
Toyland.
Toyland. I didn't know how low you could go, Treat, in picking out Christmas episodes for this Long Island Jew over here. But Rudolph was a trip. Although, if I remember, I really liked Yukon.
You
Yeah, I
did.
was into
Yeah.
him.
I remember I defended the Bumble Snow Monster as being my spirit animal because it's very tall and I was a very tall child. And I liked when he puts the star on the tree at the
Aw. Well,
end.
obviously, my spirit animal
Yeah.
was like the secretly gay dentist. In the euphemism, it's a
No.
very gay situation in Rudolph, and like
Just a bunch
it's
of
a bunch of
misfits.
misfits who secretly want to be dentists. Gay. Anyway, and then I feel like I had never seen it before, and I see references for it everywhere. And I was even thinking, like, if I hit a low enough moment this season, I might have to rewatch it.
Oh, God, what has 2025 done to you that you're rewatching Rudolph fondly?
I don't know, but I also will say that this is
Oh,
our top listened to episode. Clearly, our listening audience has more affection for this film or film. Should we call it a film than I did? It's a
it's a
film. We'll
film.
call it a film.
Yeah, it's a classic. It is a Christmas classic. So please enjoy this re-release of our review of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Welcome to the Live Up podcast, where we revisit the movies from our youth to see if they live up. I'm Jess Latimer.
And I'm Amanda Treat. Today we're reviewing the only holiday movie that is brave enough to ask, what if Santa Claus is kind of a dick? 1964 stop motion spectacular Rankin Bass, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Now, Jess, I am dying for you to tell everyone your history with this movie.
Yeah, so I have no history. Uh, I think typically when we do this podcast, we will have both watched and probably loved the movies, but this is an instance where I went into this cold. I have never seen this before, and I know you have seen a
How
lot.
how do you make it to our wonderful age and
I
never have seen this incessantly stalkerish Christmas movie that's on every single year, every single station? Just, oh my God, how have you never seen this?
I don't know. My wife was super surprised too. She's like, "How have you never seen this movie?" Well, I'll go through my impressions in a bit, but I wanted to just, because this is just our second podcast, I just wanted to do a super quick review to remind folks what exactly we'll be doing here. So, and how it'll go. So I'll, after a quick intro about the movie in question, which by the way, we just did. So we're going to discuss and then each score on a scale of 1 to 10, whether the movie lives up to us now as adults, and then score whether it lives up to kids now or at least the movie's intended audience. So after all that, both of us will give the movie a final yay or nay, whether it lives up or not. So we've rewatched this movie. In my case, I've watched for the first time.
I am so happy that I made you watch
I,
this. This
I
is so
mean,
sweet.
am I happy about it? We're going to discuss that. and and I know we haven't shared our full thoughts with each other, but I think we've pretty much done some spoiler alerts here. But do you want to do a very quick synopsis of this movie that it doesn't involve just this is the reindeer song? I don't know.
Sure. For anyone else who's been living under a rock, like Jessica
Like
apparently has
me.
for decades, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is a stop motion movie based on the song, the famous Christmas song that starts, Rudolph, he's a young reindeer and he's got a red nose and he's getting bullied a little bit. And then it just goes off the rails. Like whoever made this thing is just making stuff up as they go. There's a dentist, there's a lot of like stop motion little critters running around, there's a talking snowman, there's a whole island full of like dysfunctional toys that they get
The Island of Misfit Toys. We're gonna get to that. I actually put a whole section in the outline.
Wow, excellent. I think many of us have seen this many, many, many times as kids and adults, and whether we liked it or not, like it was just always there. And it is, I would say, its heart is in the right place. It's trying to tell you a story about an underdog, and everyone who's a bad guy in this gets their redemption, and good for them. But this is just a weird, weird movie that we've all just sort of accepted as like, yeah, okay, it's Rudolph. Just go with it. So,
It's a weird remix of the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer song for sure. And made in the 60s. So, but that's no excuse, I guess.
yeah, so much to talk about here.
So much to talk. I mean, I guess I can tell you my first impressions as never seeing it
Yes.
before,
Oh my goodness.
and then we should move on from there. So, what the fuck would be my first impression? But I found like I have never felt more like a gay Jew from Long Island as I did watching this movie because I was like, there's a lot of their words "this is gay," "I think this is gay" like showed up a lot in my notes. So we'll talk about that. I also just like, is this movie camp? Is this movie a quest? Is this even a kids movie? So I think like that was basically those are my two headline impressions from watching it the first time, and I did watch it with my two kids, age 10 and 5, and
Oh, fantastic. Had they seen it before? Or is this
I
their
know.
first time too?
I think that like my daughter claimed to have, or my son had claimed to have seen it before, but I think they were, there's no way. I have no idea. No
I
idea.
mean, these characters are in like random TV commercials, and there's a lot of parodies of them. You could confuse the movie Elf, like the beginning of that seems like this movie. There's so many parodies of this.
Yeah. Yeah. No, so that was my first impression. So I, so I kind
I'm dying that I made you watch this. She's
of,
like
so
such a
everyone was
lucky
saying,
moment for
Amanda's
me.
like, I think we need to do this movie. And then she got even more excited when I had never seen it before. She's like, "Oh, you're in for
You
it."
don't know what you're walking into. This is amazing. Amazing.
So you have got to tell me what paint like 1980s Amanda treat for me with
Yeah.
you and your siblings watching this movie. I gotta see. I gotta know it all.
We got a VCR in the mid 1980s, and you were able to tape things directly off of television back then. That's what the
I like
VCR.
how you explained what a VCR does.
You know?
Yeah, that's awesome for our
This
younger listeners.
this is very old school technology we're talking about. Might as well be Morse code. So you could tape things off of television, including like the commercials and everything. So we had this one tape that had all of the annual Christmas specials that they run. So I think the order of operations was we had the Mickey Christmas Carol, then we had this movie, then we had the Charlie Brown Christmas special, we had the Grinch, we had that Frosty the Snowman. I want to say there was like a live action Nutcracker ballet with Mikhail Brezhnikov in there. I mean,
Was
it
this
went
the go-to though? Like,
yeah.
oh
This
my
tape,
god.
this one tape that we taped everything onto. This was an epic tape, and we didn't quite know how to use the VCR because we'd just gotten it, and we were trying to tape Rudolph. And I know that like I was like fighting with my siblings, so there's like big chunks that were just cut out because like we didn't hit the record button quick enough, or like we are fighting over like, no, you're gonna hit record and play at the same time.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah, right.
Such a different world these days. We sound like two old cranks.
Ooh. Yeah, no, we're like the original, like, yeah, computers over here. Um, so we had a version of it from the 1980s that probably aired on like CBS, NBC, one of those channels, and had questionable editing because we did part of it ourselves, but also I think even in the mid 80s, they knew that some of the dialogue in this movie was not appropriate anymore. Like it's sexist and it's mean, like
It's
Santa's
mean.
Santa's a
It's
real
absurd.
jerk.
I don't like. I mean, I thought he was like a little. It was a little funny. I mean, that's just
It's hilarious as an adult, but like I remember like you have this skinny, cranky Santa Claus who really, really dislikes the elves. Like, he's the worst employer ever. He's just so, like, mean to them, and, like, they try really hard to sing their stupid song, and, like,
And it is a stupid song.
he's just rolling his eyes, and Mrs. Claus is kinda elbowing him, like, "Sit up, pay attention," and, like, yeah, just he's not having any of this. Like, he's, I think, burned out on being Santa Claus, and I noticed that as a kid. It was like, "Why is Santa an asshole?"
Mom, why
Mom!
is Santa an asshole?
This is kind of a dick. What's going on here? Yeah, I think even my, like, 6-year-old brain was processing, like, there's a lot of stuff going on with this movie, and it's not all good.
Yeah, for the adults who may have like 6-year-olds of their own. So I definitely found myself in some of these scenes when Santa is being like a total jackass. Or we're going to talk about all the toxic masculinity because there's a lot here. There's
Oh,
several characters.
oh, yeah.
Um, I definitely found myself being like, and that's not nice, kids. Um,
No.
because it was a little much. I mean, some of it I was thinking it's not even a parody. It went beyond making the point when I guess like not to jump ahead, but when there's a coach, people, if you don't remember, there's some sort of coach that coaches all the little reindeer how to fly and shit. Um, and that coach is just he's also an asshole and very shouty and probably a pedophile. That's just like totally
See, and I'd have to
out.
pick up on like, I noticed you made some notes about him. I didn't pick up on him at all as a kid. Who was that? Comet the reindeer?
I forget which reindeer was, whatever the coach, whoever
Yeah.
the coach is. Yeah,
And
so
my
there's a lot of
head,
it.
like, that's what, like, sports coaches were like in the 80s and 90s. Like, if you go back and watch that, the TV show Yellow Jackets, their coach is actually, like, the nicest person ever compared to my soccer coach, like, and the coach at the other high school across town was, like, sleeping with the players, and,
What?
like,
Guys.
coaches in the 80s and 90s were, like, awful, like,
Yeah,
it was just
Generation X and Y, we've been through some
gross,
shit.
gross stuff going on there.
So the coach was like particularly, I think both my kids were like, what is this? You know, they're used to like when they go to sports, everyone's like, yay, you participated.
Now people are aware of, like, sports psychology. Like, you don't coach people that way by just, like, bullying and screaming at them. You actually encourage them to do good things and, like,
Yeah.
you know, practice this and try hard, and yeah, then if you nail it, we'll put you in the game. Like, this coach is an asshole, but he's a very typical, like, early 80s sports coach in my head.
Yeah, he kind of is. I mean, in some ways, I guess he's a period piece, if you will, even though the movie was made in the
He's a
60s.
relic.
But let's talk about the likable moments. It was charming. I thought it was charming too. So that's
Yeah.
I guess that's a point in their favor. Yeah. So what other
And I know as a kid, I always liked the fact there's really no bad guys in this movie. Like, they think there's bad guys,
except for the
but then they,
pedophile coach? No, just kidding.
for the, yeah, no, pedophile soccer coach. They, by the end of the movie, everybody's sort of redeemed themselves, and like, the people who are being jerks and being bigoted come around, and even the abominable snow monster, he'd pull his teeth out, and suddenly he's a capitalist and just wants to go to work for the man. Um, so yeah, no, there's just a feeling of like everybody's okay at the end of this thing, and I liked that as a kid to such a point. I remember there was a ad campaign that we probably taped in the background of this cassette we had going for this movie and all of the other Christmas specials. But that Flintstone cereal commercial that they used to run in the 1980s, where like Barney was always stealing the cereal from Fred Flintstone. They used to run a Christmas ad where the two of them would like instead of fighting, they'd turn around and be like, "But we could share it." And I remember as a kid being like, "Yay, this commercial ended up like everybody's okay. Like, we're just gonna be happy and friendly." And like, that's really the vibe of this movie, is just let everyone be happy and friendly.
I do like and a spoiler alert for those who don't remember, it does all like it's all yay and happy at the end, as any Christmas movie should be. Yeah, I definitely just going along the gay theme because I could not get that out of my head. It really felt like the dad who
Was it
had
the elf? Was it Hermie the elf?
I
Or
mean,
was it the Ray?
Definitely.
Reindeer or the elf or all of the above.
Definitely Herbie. I mean, or is it Herbie? Is that his name?
Herbie, I think.
I felt like it was one of those things where, the dad who had a problem with their gay son all of a sudden comes around and comes to the gay son's wedding. Like that's how I felt like the ending scene was.
Oh,
Everybody redeeming themselves for being kind of a dick. Still a little harsh at the beginning, but yeah, I just couldn't get the gayness out of my head.
Yeah.
I just couldn't. I also, so this is such a small thing, and I didn't mean to get to this now, but it just popped in my mind. So Rudolph, the whole opening scene, Rudolph is Donner's son. So you see Donner, his wife, basically like right after birth with Rudolph, and he has a red nose. Surprise. Is this, because this is the Long Island Jew part of me, is this common knowledge that Rudolph is Donner's son? Like, does everybody know this
No.
but me?
This movie added that detail.
Okay. I just want to know for all the Jews out there.
Is being a fall soccer coach. Like that wasn't part of the song either. Yeah, no, they made up a lot of stuff here, and that's we all just kind of nodded our heads and went with it, but they made it up.
Yeah. I'd like to get to the characters. We've touched on some of them. And then I think we could touch on some of their scenes, but because this sort of is a question I had for you, Treat. So my favorite character was Yukon, the Yukon Cornelius. Is that?
Yes.
So Yukon Cornelius, just quick recap, everybody. Yukon Cornelius is basically the rogue, rakish guy, like mountain dude that was looking for gold.
Up more than he deserves.
Yeah.
You're making him sound like Ron Swanson from Parks and Recreation.
I thought of him more as like he's felt like very much like Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. Like he's just sort of like the quest guy.
Way more credit.
I know. I mean, I'm going like way more credit than I need. Okay, maybe more Val Kilmer's character in Willow. But just to knock him down a notch.
Bad bargain.
But he was my favorite character because he's just, and he's basically like runs into Herbie and Rudolph in the woods and helps them on this quest and adventure to basically, I don't even know what their quest and adventure is for. They're just basically escaping. So he was my favorite character. And I think one of the only redeeming characters throughout. So what did you think of him as a kid? Like, did he resonate with you as a kid?
I think it's hard to say because as a kid, I think my take on him was he's like your fun uncle.
Fun uncle.
At best, he's your fun uncle. Like he doesn't seem like a full-fledged adult in many ways.
He's not Aragorn for you?
No, he's just running amok. Like he's got all these dogs who don't listen to him, and like he's just out there wandering in the wilderness. And, like honestly, I think my take as a kid was like he seems like a nice guy, but like if he offered you candy and he had a big white van, you don't go with Yukon Cornelius.
Although essentially that's what happened in the movie.
It is actually. He pulls them out of a glacier or whatever they stick their heads in, and off they go.
Off they go. We're gonna get
him an island.
We're gonna get him this like essentially the Arctic's version of the white van with this dude.
But yeah, so like it struck me now watching it as an adult too. Like so they all just float across some body of water and land on this island, and they're dealing with the misfits. They are told they can't stay on the island of misfit toys. And I think Yukon cracks a joke like, even among misfits were misfits or something.
Yeah, he does.
Like the thing that's not being said here is like, Yukon, you're not allowed here either. Like,
yeah, hey creep. Like get back in your van.
Like you may still be keeping yourself in a separate space than your dentist friend and your reindeer friend here, but like you're not doing any better than they are. Like you guys are all, I would say, in the same boat, but you're literally on the same iceberg. Like you're not living your best life, Yukon.
Yeah, Yukon. I mean, I would watch a Yukon origin story. I mean, I'm just saying, I think I would.
He's a weird dude.
So if he didn't really resonate, so who were your favorite characters as a kid? Did you have one?
Just because as a kid I was taller than everyone else and very biased. I like the Bumble Snow Monster. Like at the end, his body is
the villain.
Like far on the tree and look at what he can do. Like, yeah, you know what? A reformed Bumble. And like, wouldn't you be angry too if you were born like this Yeti in the middle of like Santa's Christmas town and everyone's telling you you're like this awful thing? Like, yeah, I'd be a little
He
torn.
looks kind of cute though. I have to say that I spent
So,
pretty much
yeah,
90% of the movie thinking that he was ultimately a good guy, and so did my kids.
yeah.
I mean, they thought he was
He looks
essentially
like a
cute.
giant stuffed animal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they thought he was cute.
They
I
tell
mean,
you he's scary, but you're like, no, that looks like adorable. I want to say Clarice, she doesn't do very much, but like she's at least very nice and kind of encouraging. I don't know. Pretty much does nothing the whole
does
movie
not.
and doesn't do anything.
Clarice I had written down as a character, but like I think there were hints of similar to what we talked about in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. There were hints of is Clarice really gonna like get everybody's shit together? And she kind of does, but
Yeah.
you know, ultimately she's just sort of a flirty reindeer. I think.
Yeah. She does seem to have some agency, but like, yeah, they don't give her a lot of
And
lines.
just in case folks forget, Clarice was a fellow young reindeer.
She's the girl with the bow on her hair.
Just to make it clear that she's a
you're gonna
female.
distinguish her from the other identical bows.
Yeah, and she, you know, befriends Rudolph and accepts him for who he is. And
She tells him that she thinks he's cute and apparently brings him to puberty in that one sentence.
right. And I think there was a song in there, but the songs are very not memorable to me.
They're not great. No.
Yeah.
I do like, all right, I do like the Bro Lives songs in this movie.
The what songs?
So he plays Sam the Snowman and his whole Christmas album is out there somewhere beyond just this movie. As a narrator, I think they made him voice over some of the most sexist lines in the whole movie, which
Oh, the MC, yeah.
yeah, and it speaks to me that they were just like filling some time, like, we ran 30 seconds short. Quick, give Sam a line over like the reindeer staring at each other at the cave.
He's definitely billed as like the lead in the movie. And
Yeah.
my wife was like, who is that guy?
I mean, he was like a famous folk singer, but he's also, may he rest in peace. He's been dead for a while. Like, this is a very old movie.
Very old. I actually like the MC. I just kind of thought of him as the MC. I thought he was he was part of that whole charming texture of the movie.
He actually struck me as dressed in a very Japanese manner.
Oh, did not pick up on
The
that.
vest in the way like the umbrellas are key, but like the
that's right.
hair, and I was trying to get like this sounds weird, a full body view of him. They usually showed him very close up, but in Japan, the snowmen have only 2 balls. Like there's a body and
Oh, I guess he does kind of look like that.
yeah, versus in America we do 3-ball snowman. This is going off the rails. I apologize for this tangent. I noticed for the first time that it was like, oh, actually, like culturally, like this looks like a Japanese snowman. That's kind of cool that he's representing in the North Pole there.
I don't know if you caught this as a kid or an adult watching it again, but at some point in the beginning of the movie, Santa, I don't know, he comes around to congratulate Donna on having a new baby, which is Rudolph, and he mentions something like, "Okay, gotta go shine my balls." I'd be like, no joke, but I think that's the actual line.
He shines up his jingle balls every year.
Yeah,
I
always wonder if we watched this now movie, if we were like completely drunk, whether we would love it.
maybe like alcohol and marijuana. I don't
know.
The better
Um,
sense for this film.
all right, so
Yeah,
let's
let's
talk
talk
about,
about the characters. Let's talk about Rudolph for a second.
all right, let's talk about Rudolph. You talk about Rudolph.
A question that popped into my head for the first time ever watching this as an adult. Does he have any control over that nose? So like
Except that it squeaks incessantly and is super annoying. I have no idea.
that noise that because
What is up with that?
you think of the song, it just says he has a very shiny nose.
Yeah, not squeaky.
And if it might even say it glows. That's all they say. There is nothing about this tinnitus sound that is coming out of his head. My mother, when we were watching this movie over and over again on our VHS cassette, she'd be over doing something on the other side of the room, and it would bring her to a point of just rage. This was the most triggering.
I
Now,
feel
like
it.
it wasn't a migraine. It was like she was going full on Hulk smash after listening to us watch this movie. She's not watching it with us, but just hearing that
Oh my God.
noise,
It was
like
terrible.
her head exploded. And so she was suddenly so angry about everything. Like she only told me later, she was like, I could not stand that. Every time you guys put that movie on, just couldn't contain myself how like irritating it was.
I
And
mean,
I
because it's
didn't
irritating.
appreciate that until I was an adult. Like now as an adult, I'm just like, oh yeah, that's the sound of like hearing loss happening. That's the sound of
It's really bad. There's like an unnecessary detail about his character that like you didn't need, people. You didn't need it. It was just annoying.
I started wondering does he have any control over it? Like as a infant, newborn, no, it just happens. I'm wondering, is it like an erection? Is it like or is it something that he's like holding on to and waiting for that perfect moment and then just like, I'm gonna annoy the heck out of the person I'm talking to right now. Like,
I feel like he can't control it though, because that's the whole thing. That's what makes him an outcast. That's why he couldn't play in all the reindeer games,
that's true,
essentially.
actually. Like they're trying to hide from the abominable snow monster, and like he can't shut that thing off.
Right.
Erect the whole time.
Erects the whole time. And just so if folks forget, that's a major plot of as once Rudolph and Herbie walk off, basically run away, they are chased by the abominable snowman who apparently can find them because of Rudolph's nose. So it becomes a whole thing in the plot.
Yeah.
I feel like a super loose part of the plot. Like, I don't even think my kids gave a shit when that was part of the plot. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
sort of
The stakes don't feel that high.
they don't. I feel like Rudolph was sort of like a non-character. Maybe because I was so distracted by like how fucked up everything else was. I don't know.
True. Yeah, he's really the straight man in all of this.
But is he a straight man? Because
I don't know. I remember we were in maybe a metaphor for a lot of things.
maybe. Should we move on to Herbie?
Yeah.
Because,
Okay.
oh my God.
We gotta talk about her.
We got to talk about Herbie.
Or
Tell me,
Herbie.
please start. I want to start with like the innocent kid impression of Herbie. Please tell me the innocent kid impression of him.
In my head, he was always a little annoying in his like.
Who is Herbie? Just tell everybody who.
Okay. Yes, he is a, let's say, disgruntled elf with blonde hair. He's the only one with like a little blonde wave coming out of his elf hat. But he doesn't want to make toys.
Yay! Sorry, keep going.
I think as a kid, like I want to relate to him because he's rebelling, and also as an adult, I really want to relate to him because haven't you ever wanted to tell a boss like, I don't want to make toys anymore, and like just
Which essentially he does to the head of
throw your paintbrush down and jump out the window like he just did. He doesn't
Right,
die.
like,
They're
literally,
both
that's a
toys.
scene, everybody, in case you don't remember.
Herbie doesn't want to make toys. Out the
He
window.
wants to be a dentist.
Yeah, like get out of that toxic work environment. I want to be on his side, but there's something a little annoying about him. And even as a kid, it was like, like he's kind of the whiny kid, and
Yeah, they definitely make him the whiny kid.
like he's not the cool rebel. He's the uncool rebel, if that's a thing.
Yeah, on the edge of like maybe us instantly getting canceled in our second episode. For declaring this, but yeah, I feel like they played. I swear to God, I think they played him almost like 1960s gay in a way on purpose. It's what it felt like. But
These are, we will say, these are jokes you're allowed to make.
I know I'm gonna make gay jokes. I am not a gay boy, but still, yeah. No, he was. Yeah, I did find him
I
kind of
don't
like
think
Rick
anyone's gonna come to his defense and say he was a cool cat. Like he is not. He's
not a cool cat. He definitely is the last poor schmuck picked for whatever sport in gym class, for sure. 100%.
And of all the things to aspire to, he wants to be a dentist. Like that's really hard for a kid to sympathize with.
It really is. It's so hard. It's like the most unrelatable thing for kids.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do kids hate? The dentist. And also as an adult, I'm like, the euphemism for gay here is dentist? That is so bizarre.
Nothing happened about molars and bicuspids and just no. I am not feeling him. But all right, he jumps out the window, he pops up next to Rudolph, and they're like immediate BFFs. And
right. I think they even sing a little Outcast song together
cute.
before before meeting my favorite character, Yukon Cornelius. So he sings a lot of sad songs. He's super bullied
Yeah.
by the head elf, which we will get to in a toxic masculinity section. But I was like a little worried for Herbie because I'm like, I was like, this is going dark. He's getting like reamed out by this like toxic male head elf. And I'm like, is he gonna like commit suicide? Like, this is getting dark.
And I do feel like you've had a bad boss, or you're in this co-working space where everyone around you doesn't feel like they're your work buddies, and also they're just doing really, those toys look terrible, honestly. Like, the other elves are like spinning them. They're all these like wooden, kind of like pathetic, like you just put pieces of wood together with a nail. Like, that's not a toy. That's crap. Like, you guys are doing low quality work. There's really no reward at the end of the day here. Like, I get that. Like, a toxic workplace, I totally understand that. But like,
It's just funny to go from that to dentist. I want to be a dentist. They needed some sort of plot twist to get to the pinnacle of.
I was thinking about it. We're gonna jump way ahead here.
We are going to jump ahead. Should we not jump ahead?
No, let's jump ahead.
Jump
Like,
ahead.
I think they wrote this backwards, where they were like, we have this abominable snow monster we need to redeem. How do we do it?
Yeah.
Let's say we have a guy who's got dental skills. He can take out his teeth. And let's say we've got a guy who's got like Yukon survival skills and can hit him over the head with a rock. Like, that, we're going to take those two things and make them how we disarm the abominable snow monster, and give them to these two random characters that we've just made up that have nothing to do with this song.
Right, because the abominable snowman has Rudolph in his clutches, and at this point, I swear to God, Herbie,
Like,
what does he do? What does he do?
You know
He
what?
pulls his teeth out. I mean, what the?
Yeah.
That is basically what saves the day. Is that the aspiring gay dentist takes like this terrifying looking tool and yanks the teeth out of the abominable snowman and
Got the
feed him.
human rights violation. That hurt.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I mean, my kids looked at me like, what on earth is this? Like, what is this? It just was so bizarrely brutal and dark.
I just feel validated that your kids thought that was a weird way to go.
Well, what was
It's a
okay?
weird way to go.
I feel like I rushed into this. So, and we definitely skipped ahead here, but what the hell was your reaction with your siblings when Herbie basically removes the teeth in a brutal way from the abominable snowman?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say it was relief, because it wasn't. It was just kind of like, okay, like, we checked that box, they solved that problem, but like, in a dumb way. Like, Hermie's not the hero. No, we weren't cheering for him and his giant pliers. Like, come on.
Giant pliers, people. I mean,
They're like the size of his body, and he
It's
was
so bad.
carrying them around with him the whole time. Like, I think
I know, where'd this
a
come
little
from?
bit of a thing going on there.
My kids were not having it. They were like, what the fuck is that? I mean, they didn't say that, but they were like, I mean, eyes wide as saucers. When they saw the teeth on the ground, they were like, my daughter looks at me like, what? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Like, we're totally ready for him to eat Rudolph. We're all okay. We'd accepted it.
In short, I feel like Herbie had a purpose, but
Yeah.
I don't think, I think it was really like, if you could pick out, this was probably he was probably had the weirdest moments in a sea of totally weird things that you could never ever associate with Happy Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer song. It was so bizarre.
We've
was
jumped
a
way
lot.
ahead here.
We did. Should we run? We should go back.
Assessment. I'm honestly gonna be like, Rudolph's mom, Skip. She doesn't do anything.
Nothing.
His dad reminds me of Eric Foreman's dad on that 70s show.
Yeah, he does.
Voice
So his
and
dad
everything.
named Donner, which was new to Jewish me. I was like, oh, Donner's son is Rudolph. I'm never going to get that out of my head.
Yeah.
I felt like Donner was also in the toxic masculinity camp. Like, he immediately, as soon as Rudolph came into the world and was slightly different, was like, we have to hide it. And then when Rudolph can't hide it, he's basically like, I hate you. I mean, it was a little bit.
At the same time, he's getting a lot of crap from Santa, from his other reindeer gang, whatever. So like, he knew what Rudolph was going to be up against. I'm not saying it, I'm not defending him, but I think his like toxic attitude was partially based on what he's experienced from the other reindeer. Like, he knows these reindeer are awful.
Donner just barely redeemed himself. You know, at the end when like basically what we were saying, it ends happily. And Donner, everyone's happy about Rudolph, obviously, because that's how the song is, guys. At some point, Christmas Eve, he was like, I knew that nose would come in handy. And I'm like, you are just the most insecure white man. It is the most insecure, but you're a reindeer.
But a reindeer.
But a reindeer. That's just how I thought of him. Yeah, he's like every dad character from a certain era, essentially.
Yeah. I think Donner's like, I'm gonna lose my job if they find out about this kid. Like, I think he had a sense of how harsh Christmas Town is.
The only other character who I felt like was kind of redeeming and I found funny, maybe more as an adult, and I doubt a kid would pick up on this, is Mrs. Claus. I thought was kind of funny because she, Santa, as we've established, Santa's a dick. And
he's a jerk.
He's a jerk. He's like impatient with the reindeer. He's like, you should be ashamed, Donner, for having a kid who's different.
He's a bad boss to the elves. Like,
yeah, he doesn't give a shit.
Santa's employees, honestly.
Yeah, right. So, but Mrs. Claus is always like, honey, look, the elves are here to like sing you a song, and he's like, oh, great. And I'm like, why, Mrs. Claus? Are you abused? Like, do you need help? Give us a signal.
Here's my question. That night, when they decide, okay, we're going to use Rudolph's nose to get through the fog, he goes and sits down to eat something. What the hell did she feed him? Because he pulled out probably human size, like 150 pounds in one night. Like, is he bloated? Is he having an allergic reaction? What did she stick in his like food?
I don't know. Maybe there's a alt. Maybe she's like you can make an alt movie where she's the hero the whole time.
I mean, I think she was secretly running the whole show, but being like,
totally.
Yeah, the elf song is great, isn't it, honey? And he's like, the elf song is great, isn't it, honey?
Yeah, sort of like a reverse Stepford Wife, where she has him and is. Yeah, actually, you're totally right. I totally agree. I think she's running the show.
Yeah,
but it's sort of a non-character for my kids, but I appreciated her as an adult.
Oh yeah.
That's
queen. She's got it.
She's got it. Yeah, I would watch an origin story that featured her running off with Yukon Cornelius. I think that would be fantastic.
Oh my God.
So I think we've covered all the characters at this point. And did we miss anybody? I mean,
we don't have anyone on the island of misfit toys, and we do need to talk about this.
So
Cornelius, they're chased by the Bumble Snow Monster onto an iceberg, and they land on the island of misfit toys.
Yes, so that is the origin story of Island of Misfit Toys, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" It's like the quest just keeps going on. Yeah, the Misfit Toys. I feel like I need some Prozac for this conversation because I thought they were the saddest. They were the saddest group of sad sacks I've ever seen in my life, but there was. And they had super annoying voices, and they're like, we're the rejected toys, and we're sad, and nobody loves us.
We wrote about it.
So the Misfit Toys then start going through all their flaws. And it was actually like, oh my God, this is like, now I'm thinking about body image crap and all this stuff going on. So they're basically listing out their flaws and I'm so terrible. I have this flaw. And I'm like, oh
I remember as a kid, there's a few of them that you look at and you're thinking, no, I want to have that as a toy. Like, there's nothing wrong with an elephant with spots. That looks kind of cool. Like,
I guess that's the point, that like ultimately the Misfit Toys are not unwanted, but it was just so harsh to get there that my kids were like, it was definitely another moment as a parent where I'm like, this is not how we treat people.
So of all the things that I remember this as a kid, like you've got your Charlie in the box, you've got that sort of owl looking creature that swims in a fishbowl, you got your cowboy on the ostrich. Like, there's some weird things going on there, but like nothing bad, like just weird. But there's a character called a Dolly for Sue. Did this jump out at you at all?
I don't know. It jumped out in that I was like, what is that?
So there's this little rag doll, and she introduces herself as a Dolly for Sue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She has her own Wikipedia section dedicated to people trying to figure out, like, what is wrong with this doll? Because she's just a Dolly for Sue. Like, there's nothing physically apparently wrong with her. And like, I remember as a kid thinking, like, that just is a doll. Like, why are we part of this sad song? Wow, weird things are. And in the Wikipedia page, it breaks down that like people had theories for years and that they basically said depression. She's chronically depressed because Sue didn't want to play with her anymore and like rejected her. So this is a doll with mental health issues. Only in the characteristic Rudolph way, it is not very sensitively portrayed. It is just this is a dolly for Sue who's like crying all the time and like being like
Yeah,
depressed.
it's so harsh and dark. I mean, I feel like the whole Misfit Toys thing is so dark. It's weird, dark direction. Where like the Misfit Toys, it is so mean. It is like the bullying. This is where all the kids who don't get picked for the dodgeball team go and cry. That's essentially what it is. And just spoiler alert, Santa, like Rudolph tells Santa that he has to pick up the Misfit Toys and give them to kids. And so I guess theoretically it has a happy ending, just like everything else. But I actually even wrote down that it felt like that happy ending for the Misfit Toys was almost just sort of a letdown because it was so dark to get there that it almost felt like nonsense that they would even have a happy ending. Like,
I mean, you don't see any sort of what happens to them. They all get kind of chucked off the top of the sleigh with an umbrella. Like, good luck.
right? Like, do they end
Dolly
up
for
back?
Sue?
Do they kind of like relapse into being a Misfit toy
Yeah,
later?
what happens? Oh my god.
Yeah, and then the fact the Misfit Land of Misfit Toys, they have the Moonrise King. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Very Wizard of Oz like,
Weird
sort of.
flying lion griffin thing.
And honestly, at that point, I'm like, okay, we've been on this quest. We have this extremely dark, sad group, and now they have a leader. Like, there's a structure here.
I'm
I'm like,
sure
where
it's
is this
toy.
going?
He's some weird mythological creature who's like, "Hey Rudolph, can you tell Santa?" Meanwhile, this thing can like fly anywhere around the world. Like, you gotta tell Santa. Don't send the reindeer back to tell Santa.
Yeah, it was very Wizard of Oz, but like thrown in there. It was just because this movie was basically a quest on top of a Christmas song, on top of a kids movie, on top of something else. It just, oh, let's throw this thing in. This was very strange. Throw this parable thing in and throw the Wizard of Oz in. Right. And for those who don't remember, then Rudolph leaves. Long story short, he ends up in the clutches of the snowmen, and then he's saved, which is the part we skipped to earlier. And Yukon and the fucked up dentist from hell, the same, otherwise known,
Nightmare
aka Murphy.
dentist.
What were you as a kid?
We knew the song before we saw this movie. You know, we used to sing it in preschool. Like, it just goes bananas. Like, in the first 10 minutes of this movie, it's like, oh, okay, like, he's got a shiny nose, great. And he goes to the reindeer games. Yep, that's part of the song, check. And other reindeer making fun of him, great part of the song. I was like, dentist elf and
Dentist.
no monster and like dysfunctional toys, including a gun that shoots jelly. And what is happening? And you can just take an iceberg back to where you came from. And we just were like, all right, give it a minute. Let's see what happens.
Right. It's
We're,
sort of
you
like
know,
if you rewatch, and I'm sure we will on this podcast, any quest type movie, and
Yeah.
the quest objectives are always kind of questionable. And it's, I guess it's the journey, guys. It's not the destination.
That's actually part of this, though, is that there is no journey. There's no MacGuffin. There's no anything. It's not we have to go get the scroll from the king of the ice
Right.
monster. Like, there's no purpose. They're just
I don't
wandering
need to
around.
visit the wizard. I don't need to go to Mordor. Like, I know there's not really a quest.
We don't like the people we live with, so we're just gonna wander around the Arctic and try not to die. Like, that's what we're doing.
I mean, I guess that would be like a great synopsis of this movie. Like a fucked up synopsis is we're going to wander around the Arctic and try not to die. And we're going to bring a dentist along.
And Santa's kind of a dick.
And Santa's kind of a dick. I mean, I guess that's the headline. Santa's kind of a dick. You could pretty much rename the movie. One other like bizarre plot twist that this is the one that impacted my kids the most. So once Yukon and Herbie wake up and they realize Rudolph is gone. And I guess, then they go after him to try to find him, yada, yada, yada. Honestly, I'm getting this confused in my head. But at some point in the scuffle with the abominable snowman, Yukon just falls off a fucking cliff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, this movie is so dark. Did they just kill the one character that's amazing?
Your favorite character.
And my daughter turned around. She actually turned around and looked at me. She was like, what? I don't get it. Why would they do that?
And then they're just like, oh, well, he died. Let's move on. Like, I mean,
We need to get the women back to Christmas Count.
oh, well, UConn was nice, but it's
Oh,
Christmas
well.
Eve. We don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, spoiler alert, he didn't die and he comes back. But for like a whole 5 minutes, I was like, I cannot believe they killed off his character and it gets
Yeah. All those little reindeer heads go down in mourning. Like, they just look so sad.
Oh, man.
But yeah, it only lasts for a moment. And then all of a sudden they show back up at Christmas Town and they get the Bumble Snow Monster asking for a job. And suddenly he's decorating the tree all over the place. So
Everyone's happy.
works out. Then there's a cheerful song and kind of just erase the whole trauma of watching the characters die pretty immediately.
I have to say, even as an adult, I was like, thank God he's back. Because he's, yeah.
Wow. You're like, I heart Yukon.
I know. I mean, there wasn't a lot to grab onto.
You got a thing for guys with curly red hair.
I
Jeff.
guess I do. And just for folks, I also have curly red hair. I guess I'm a secret Yukon Cornelius.
You're been around the Arctic together.
I like related to the, I guess the guy we described as like creepy dude with the van more than anybody else.
He's not creepy. It's just like
creepy.
you wouldn't trust him as an adult to like be looking after your.
No way. Like, I don't even think he could like house sit for your house. Like,
God, he'd kill your plants. Like,
yeah,
not-
Yukon Cornelius is like the black sheep of every family. 100%.
not a responsible adult. He's your weird uncle.
All right. So I think we've talked about this as much as we can.
Sure.
All right. So just to recap for folks, we rate on a score of 1 to 10. Although I feel like we might need to add 0, maybe. 1 being garbage, 10 being Princess Bride level. And first we'll do the rating is, did it live up to you as an adult? So what do you think, Tree? What do you think? 1 to 10.
This is hard because in my memory as an adult, this was going to be a lot worse than I actually thought it was. Like, I remembered it being incredibly sexist.
Yeah.
I remember it being like a weird acid trip with no logical plot lines. But rewatching it, there's parts of it I actually found a little endearing. So I think I would give this a 4 as an adult.
4 as an adult.
The Noah's sound is incredibly annoying. If you watch the unedited version, there's some incredibly sexist, stupid comments in it. And it makes no sense at all. Like, there's no logic to this movie whatsoever. But I'll say it again, its heart is in the right place.
Okay.
So 4. That's where I'm going with this.
4. So
You, as a first-time viewer, who was your take as an adult?
yeah, I mean, I wrote down a 3, so we're not too far off. I gave it 1 point for the production quality. Thought it was pretty decent. 1 point for almost being camp, but like not quite, sort of missing the camp mark. And just number 3 for, Yukon Cornelius. I mean, essentially. So he was worth a whole point.
I won't tell your wife about your thing with the Yukon.
Yeah, so it wasn't a 0, but I was like, is this halfway through the movie? I'm like, I might have to rate this a 0. For those with kids and maybe want to watch it, or just want to watch it as an adult again. It's only 50 minutes. It's short. We can include that in the score. So you had a 4. I had a 3.
Yeah. So those are our adult scores.
Adult scores a total of 7. And just a quick comparison, you and I each respectively rated an 8 and 7 for Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So, a 15 for Who Framed Roger Rabbit, a 7 for this. Not great because it's like a 7 out of 20. But all right, so the next one, again, same scoring of 1 is garbage, 10 is Princess Bride. What do you think? Living Up for Kids.
So
Or intended audience, which are
the target audience of kids. I think kids today are more savvy than I was back in the 80s, way back when. I'm gonna give it a 6.
A 6.
I think maybe adults need to watch this with them and just say.
I just want to
"Hey."
say for reference, you gave Who
Yeah.
Framed Roger Rabbit a 5 for
Ooh.
kids.
For kids.
Can't change that score. You don't have to. You don't have to like
You know what?
level
I'm gonna
this.
stand by I'm gonna stand by my
You're
6.
gonna stand by your
Um,
6. All
I
right.
think for kids, this movie just indulges a lot of randomness and doesn't adhere to the structure that adults wanna see in their stories.
Yeah.
Whereas kids are just like, yeah, whatever. They can just wander around. That's fine. Like, we don't need a point to any of this. It's still whimsical in its own way. So I'm giving it a 6
You're giving it a 6.
for
Yeah.
kids.
So this exercise definitely made me feel like I rated Who Framed Roger Rabbit way too harshly. So I gave Who Framed Roger Rabbit a 2 for kids, which is so fucking harsh. Because by the way, guys, go listen to that episode because that is a good movie. And I wrote down a 3 for this. It was actually 1 point more than Roger Rabbit.
Oh.
But I give it points for, I do give it points for whimsy, that older quality. I think at least my kids, and I think others too, they like the 1960s animation. There's this simplicity to it that doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles that they kind of like. It's a little quieter. I don't know, they like it. I mean, part of the reason why I gave it a 3 is I gave it points for just being short. I mean, it's under an hour. It's fine. It's painless. It's basically just 2 episodes barely of something. Yeah, and I guess I gave it just 1 extra point for the fact that it's familiar. So I agree with you there. I think the familiarity, the song, even if the songs are dumb, they sort of all sound like the reindeer song that everybody knows. And it's sort of like a get in this. Now that I'm almost going to talk myself into a 4. I swear to God. But I think there's something about getting into the spirit of all the holidays.
Give it a 4 for UConn, Jess.
You should get
4 for
my kids didn't
UConn.
give a shit about UConn.
Hashtag 4 for UConn.
Now I'm gonna just stick with my 3, but I don't know. Maybe I should give it a 3.5. You should. We're gonna do 0.5s now. 3.5. See what you did to me?
Ooh. Well, Christmas miracle.
Christmas miracle. That's a total of 9.5, which is a lot higher than Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So we're gonna have to redo that one, regardless of score. We each kind of decide for ourselves whether it actually just overall lives up. And there's all sorts of criteria. I think my criteria is like, do you want to just watch this movie again? And so it's just a yay or nay. We both have to yay it for us to declare it's living up. So what do you got for me, Tree? Living up?
Oh, I want to add the context. This movie reminds me of going to Las Vegas, where initially I was
Where
like,
did that come from?
well, no, here, because it's a roller coaster of like, you go there and you're just like, oh, wow, this is crazy. And then you get a little bit disgusted by it. But then ultimately you come back and you're just like, wow, like somebody made all of this. And that's very
They
impressive.
worked really hard on it.
Weird way. Yeah, that's kind of where my brain is with this movie, that it's a roller coaster of amazement and disgust, and there's nostalgia mixed in, and just
I love that you just
so
relate
many feelings.
kids' Christmas movie to the
Las
experience of
Vegas.
Las Vegas. That's just pretty ridiculous.
It's shiny and blinky, and it makes no sense at all.
It's so good. Shiny and blinky and makes no sense. Oh man. All right, so I mean, that's your case 4. I mean, I guess your case again. I don't know. Are you gonna watch this movie again? What's the rule?
This movie is just really irritating to watch as an adult. So, but there is a nostalgia factor there. I'm very torn here. I think I need you to step in.
All right, I'm stepping in, guys.
Compared to Las Vegas, I can't come up with a clear good or bad here.
Yeah, so it's hard. I feel like my judgment of it is almost unfair because I don't have as much of a nostalgia for it. It's a no for me. It's just not that enjoyable. I mean, I know I scored it higher. I don't know. It just doesn't do it. I mean, I guess, if you want to get drunk and have a good laugh at a fucked up dentist in a Christmas movie, then this is the movie for you.
All right. Here's where I'm landing, hearing your answer.
Okay.
Like all of the cultural context and all of the nostalgia out. If nobody had ever seen this movie before and it just showed up out of nowhere today, no, it does not live up.
Right. That's where I
feel like watching The Room. You'd just be like, what is this thing? Like, what happened? Yeah, it could not show up today with no context and be a good movie. It is not at all.
Yeah. And I'm just raining on your nostalgia parade.
Yeah.
Just
I
a
think I am
huge
too.
bitch.
No, I think I am too. Like I think the
You're
nostalgia
raining on your own
is
parade in Las Vegas.
it's raining in Las Vegas, folks. Raining in Las Vegas.
It is. I mean, you could still deem it a yay for you, but it's a nay for me.
No,
So
I could
it's
live the rest of my life and never watch this movie again and be perfectly content.
all right. So it sounds like
This does not live up.
it does not live up.
There it is.
There it
There
is.
it is.
You brought down the hammer. I'm sorry. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer from 1964. We have officially deemed you as not living up. Others listening to this podcast, if you don't agree with us, or even if you do, just let us know. I kind of am really curious to know the level of agreement among people who may feel differently about this movie or any other movie. So you could find us at Live Up Pod on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. So give us a note, drop us a note there, or at liveuppod@gmail.com. You could also shoot us a note if email is your thing, but I definitely want to know. We both want to know. Maybe at some point we'll have to go back and revisit based on comments. Because I think this one might be a controversial one. Who knows? All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone.
I'm Amanda Treat,
I'm Jess Latterman.
and this is Live Up.
Or didn't live up.
It didn't.
All right.
Thank you all.